Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Michelle Brown with your Week 6, Day 26 Distance Learning lesson. There are a few things you can expect in all of these videos. We will have a list of the resources and materials that you need for the lesson. We'll do a quick overview of the learning for the lesson. There'll also be a little model of some of the reading, thinking, speaking, and writing required in the lesson, and a preview of the learning for upcoming lessons. Yesterday, we launched a new text entitled, "Does He Who Practices the Most Go Home with the Gold?" Today, we're going to engage in a quick write activity to record our reactions to the article. We're going to take some notes in our first read guide, and we'll answer a comprehension question about the text. Always remember to share your learning, complete the weekly fluency activity, and do at least 20 minutes of additional reading in a text of your choice after completing the lesson activities for the day. Now it's time for our riddle of the day, and this is a good one. Okay, I'm going to read it twice, and then if you want a little bit more time, you can pause the video before I reveal the answer. I can be long or I can be short. I can be grown and I can be bought. I can be painted or left bare. I can be round or square. What am I? I can be long or I can be short. I can be grown and I can be bought. I can be painted or left bare. I can be round or square. What am I? Okay, pause the video if you want more time. I'm about to show the answer. Your fingernails, right? I love this one. I love this one just because, again, like with lots of riddles, it helps us, A, think about things from different directions, but even thinking about what different words mean, right? Like when we say, I can be grown, like when I think about something being grown, I can think of like people saying, I'm grown, you think you're grown, all of that kind of thing. I don't immediately think of necessarily growing things like your fingernails. So yeah, so just a lot of fun to try to think about words in different ways and these ideas from different directions. So our brains are warm. Let's dive into the lesson. The materials that you're going to need are listed here on the screen, and they're also in your handout. You'll find lesson 26 on page 75 of your packet, the note catcher on page 76, and the text on pages 71 through 72. You'll, of course, also need something to write with. So let's quickly recap our guiding questions, thinking about two things. How does practice affect our success, and what other factors contribute to success? Here's our learning target for today. We'll read it together. I can answer comprehension questions about the text. In yesterday's lesson, we read the text to learn more about the research being cited in the article. Today, we're going to reread the article in order to think about our general understanding, and then we're going to use that to talk about the article's content with a family member, caregiver, or friend. Our reading, thinking, and talking, and writing are all going to be connected to our 3 writing activities for the day. Let's get started with our reading activity. I'd like you to read the article aloud. And you're reading it aloud because this really helps complement the comprehension process. As you read, you should annotate and take notes in your note catcher. Remember, you're going to be noticing new information, annotating any key vocabulary or important passages, making note of how you're connecting what you're reading to previous knowledge, and then finally, writing a brief summary of what you've read. So I'm going to do a quick model of this before you get started. So for this, we're going to be focusing on the first paragraph of the article. I'd like you to go ahead and actually pause the video now and reread this paragraph to yourself. I would again suggest that you read it out loud. Pause the video, read it aloud. Welcome back. So when I reread this paragraph, I made note of a couple of places where I was noticing new information. So for example, here, I hadn't heard of Erickson before, so when I saw this unfamiliar name, I underlined it because I figured this is new information. I want to pay attention to why he matters in the article. Then I noticed in the next sentence that it starts with he claimed. And so I know that that sentence is going to explain what he believed about the article's topic. And in this case, He claimed that performance differences between good musicians and better ones were the result of how many hours they spent practicing. Another place where I noticed new information, a little bit farther down, was the term 10,000 hour rule. It's in quotes, and then in the very next sentence, they provide a definition of what that means. So the fact that it's in quotes and that the first time I read it, I didn't know what it meant, I was like, ooh, that's probably important. I underlined it and then looked for where in the article it was going to explain what it meant, right? That's the kind of thing you want to be doing as you're reading, is noticing and making note of new information. So with that, it's your turn. Pause the video and do your reading now. Welcome back. For the rest of the lesson, you'll be thinking, talking, and writing about the topics you explored during your reading. So first, you're going to look over the annotations that you marked in the text so you can help yourself summarize your general understanding of this article. Then, you're going to talk with a family member, caregiver, or friend about what you now know from reading the article. A couple of things you might want to consider here. You may want to review some of the examples you marked during your first reading just to kind of gather your thoughts before your conversation. You may also consider explaining the 10,000 hour rule to another person, because that's going to lead to a better understanding of the rule and the argument that some researchers are making against the rule. Finally, you're going to do your daily writing tasks. Today, you're going to be answering a few different questions. If you take a look at your note catcher, you'll see. So one you've already done, right? You've already completed your first read notes during your reading. In addition, there's room for you to do a quick write. And this is where you're just writing your reactions to the article. Just, what do you think? Finally, you'll be doing a comprehension question. What is the argument some researchers are making against the 10,000 hours rule? And you can use your notes from the first reading to help you answer all of these questions. As always, if you get stuck or have any questions about the lesson, you can reach out directly to your English teacher via email using the format that you see here. In our next lesson, we're going to continue digging deeper into this article and specifically answering some analysis questions about this complex text. We've come to the end of another video. Until next time, please remember, it's so important that you talk about your lesson with someone. Then you'll want to make sure that you read for 20 minutes and complete a reading log entry. The reading log is at the front of your packet. Also, you'll need to practice reading fluency using the first or second page of your weekly reading. Enjoy your learning, and I'll see you soon.